I think it's well on its way to being proven. I think obviously what we've done for over 40 years is working. You build it, they will come as far as providing habitat for pollinators. There's a myriad of benefits with a native landscape, especially when you have a construction site like a solar array. You talk about the root systems that are that go down several feet, which helps with infiltration of stormwater, for instance. That's a huge thing. I know that one of the main questions that we've gotten early on in the process is, okay, what are the soils going to be like, after 25 years and the solar array is decommissioned, what's going to be left behind for the farmers at that point? Well, the good news is, and there's a lot of research on this, is that the soil is going to be better than it was probably before because of having these native plants in the soil for that many years, building up the microbes, having those root systems decompose within the soil for that many years. That's why the soils in the upper Midwest are so rich. It's because the prairies were here for thousands of years building up the soil. So that has helped quell some of the concern about, when these projects get turned over, it's not going to be a field of gravel or some other sort of pollutant. It's going to be native plants that were meant to be here that have been building up the soil for all those years.
Some of the benefits that we see from putting native habitat in farm fields where there's oftentimes stormwater issues is the roots of native plants can grow 6 feet deep. What that does is improves filtration of standing waters where you previously perhaps had low quality ag field, and we're able to put in, a lot of times that's the type of land that will be set aside for or leased for a solar array, is lesser quality. So we're able to go in and put in the native crops or the native habitat that have 6 foot root system in there. What that does is it increases the whole filtration of water so that you end up not having standing water, and you can have a 100-year or 200-year level of rainfall, and we'll go out the next day, and what used to have been a mini lake for several days is merely some small amounts of moisture standing in the lowest parts of the prairie. Because the prairie has adapted and it knows, all those roots create those air holes, and it takes away the standing stormwater issue.
Yeah, I think so. Generally, diversity is better for any type of landscape. It's more sustainable, it's more healthy. If you have a problem with one species that for whatever reason dies out, you have other species there to take its place. It's that diversity that makes the landscape healthy and sustainable, provides more habitat for a variety of microorganisms, wildlife, pollinators, birds, butterflies, you name it. So yeah, diversity is important, and generally speaking, the more the better. It's very site specific. With any project that we do, we really like to use custom mixes, custom species. We really want to utilize the plants that are adapted to that particular site. Ecologically, looking at the soils, looking at the moisture levels, looking at where geographically the project is. We might use different species in St. Cloud, Minnesota versus Rochester, Minnesota, looking at the native origins of plant communities. So there really is no one mix fits all, and I think that's really important to achieving success in these projects. You want to get the right species in the right place, and if you do that and you install them correctly and you help them along during the management period, the first 3 years, it's going to be a successful project where these landscapes are going to persist for many, many, many years.